GTA 6 releases in just over a year. It's fair to assume that this will be the most ambitious game to ever exist. I want to get as much information as possible before it releases. About the map, about the characters, and especially about the storyline. So that I'm fully engaged. I know exactly what's happening when the game releases next May. From my experience, GTA games usually have like a really bare bones storyline, but it's the way it's told. It can get very confusing. And also, the game is extremely long. There's a lot of stuff you have to remember that you're just physically not going to remember because you're going to be playing it for, you know, hundreds of hours. Today, I want to break down the character of Jason Duval, one of the main protagonists in GTA 6. Let's try and gather as much information as we can, and let's start building a picture of these characters. Who is Jason Duval? Jason is a middle-aged man. He lives in the Leonida Keys. He worked for a company called Brian's Boat Works and Marina. We know Jason was a troubled teenager, most likely because he grew up around grifters and crooks. And because of that, he joined the army to try and sort himself out. And clearly that didn't work because now he lives in Vice City helping drug runners. It also mentions that he's good at getting drugs into the country because of who he grew up with. And I had to look this up. A drug runner is someone who brings drugs into the country illegally. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about Jason's work, but if we take a look at Brian, it says he's a classic drug runner and that he's been around long enough to let others do his dirty work. At the beginning of trailer 2, Brian says,
"Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying tenants.
Oh, that's why you came by?
Just go get me my checks."
This heavily implies that Jason is doing the drug running for him. So, Jason Duval, a bad man, troubled childhood, goes to the army to shape up, explains why he's fucking ripped, probably going to explain why he's good with weapons. Now lives in the Leonida Keys, working for a drug runner. You with me so far? Let's continue. Somewhere down the line, he meets a girl named Lucia Comedos. We don't fully know where or how they met. What we do know is they are criminals and they are massively in love with each other. When an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America, in the middle of a criminal conspiracy. Okay, so they did heists together. Don't know how many, but they fucked one up and now they're in trouble. This is where the lack of information starts to creep in. We kind of have to do a bit of speculating now. Lucia ends up in prison and Jason is there for her when she gets out. I don't know what comes first, the arrest or the score gone wrong. And that's the basic outline of him. There's a big difference in physical looks between trailer 1 and trailer 2. Jason is a lot more jacked in trailer 2, probably because of his stint in the army, and obviously because he's physically active. You can see him fixing the roof here.
What you doing up there?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
You see him smacking the shit out of some guy here, clearly means he can fight. And of course you see him going to the gym as well. Now, what kind of person is Jason Duval? From what we can gather, he's probably not a saint. But he is a compassionate and loving person towards Lucia. So he clearly has some sort of emotions. Unlike some of the other GTA protagonists who are just straight up serial killers. The early protagonists like CJ, Tommy Vercetti, Claude. Now don't get me wrong, if he's working with drugs, he's realistically a psychopath. Just keeping in mind that he clearly cares about people. If he loves Lucia so much, then there's definitely the possibility that he could love other people. What is Jason's motivation? Again, we're going back to some speculation here. Jason wants an easy life. Usually when people say that, it means they had a pretty hard life so far, which would make sense because he grew up around crooks, and I'm guessing the army is no piece of cake either. And he's still in the drug game, so maybe he wants to get out of that. We have evidence of this because it says it might be time to try something new. So what we can gather, it seems like Jason wants to get out of the drug game. That's his motivation. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. Jason knows how he'd like it to turn out, but right now it's hard to tell. You can look at that any way you want to. What do you think that means? I'm very curious to find out, like, what do you genuinely think the story will be? This is the best part about GTA games. It's the speculation. We've gotten so much more information from trailer 2 that we can start speculating properly, and it's just such a fantastic time. Who is Jason close to? Lucia, obviously. He works for Brian. as we said, is a drug runner. Cal Hampton is one of Jason's good friends, probably because he also works with Brian. And don't worry, we're going to be doing a video on every single one of these characters. For now, all you need to know is that he's good friends with Jason. What's Jason's role in this story? I don't know. It's realistically a significant one. It's clear he's one of the main protagonists, but I have a funny feeling that it won't fully revolve around him. I think the main story is going to be about Lucia. I think it's definitely more focused around her getting out of jail and all that kind of stuff. The final question I'm going to ask to really get this character is, what does Jason represent? Could be violence, could be death, he could just be a psychopath, he just wants to kill people. We've seen it before with Trevor, who like realistically never had a motivation. Even if people were slightly in his way, he'd kill. Maybe Jason's like that, but let me read you one thing here. He says, if anything happens, I'm right behind you. So stay with me, okay? I think if we can take anything away from the trailers and the screenshots, it's that Jason Duval is a loyal person. For now anyway. He could be a selfish prick when the game comes out. We can see he's extremely loyal to Lucia, even when she goes to prison. Like, that's a serious stress to have on yourself, but he's still there with open arms, like, do you know what I mean? That is my character breakdown of Jason Duval. I hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. Next, we're going to do Lucia Comidos. I'm really looking forward to that one. She's a very interesting character from what we can get so far. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, really hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Have a good day. Bye.